Good morning. I got some requests for another PhD day in the life video, so that's what we're going to do today. I have been really working to create a consistent and realistic PhD morning routine over the past half year or so, because I do my best work in the morning, so I really wanted to reserve that time for PhD work. Today was a pretty typical day, but I'll let you know where it differs a bit from day to day. Every day my alarm is set for 6:45 a.m. because I do a co-working session over Zoom at 7 a.m. So yes, most days I roll out of bed and into my office chair, basically just in my pajamas. And that 7 a.m. work time on weekdays has become non-negotiable for me. However, if I wake up before 6:45 a.m. like I did today, then I will make breakfast and coffee and read a book until 7 a.m. Today's read was The Sound of a Wild Snail Eating by Elizabeth Tova Bailey. I'd love to wake up at 6 a.m. every day and get some reading in before I start work because it really calms me and sets the tone for the day, but usually I sleep right up until my alarm. This week though, I have been stressed for some reason I am yet to figure out, and it has been hard to get back to sleep in the mornings. So instead of continuing to toss and turn, I've just been getting out of bed and reading. Then at 7 a.m., I head to my computer and open Zoom for a co-working session with an online friend who is doing their PhD in Berlin, Germany. This works well for me because I don't know many people in Eastern Standard Time willing to start work at 7 a.m. with me. We start each session by chatting, usually about books or other hobbies. The Sound of a Wild Snail Eating is like a super short book, but I'm still working my way through. Almost at a snail leg pace, which I feel like is how it's supposed to be read, honestly. And then we get to work doing 25 or 30-minute work sessions and checking back in between each work period. We don't really stick to a strict Pomodoro schedule, which would be 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off, and some days we only get in 1 or 2 work sessions if we're feeling particularly chatty or unmotivated. Usually, the first thing I'll do in these work sessions is wake up my mind by doing some free writing. I do this in Obsidian in a daily note, and I will write about the things I have to get done or just what is on my mind, and eventually I'll feel motivated to start doing real PhD work. Today, my co-working buddy suggested that I try just summarizing my first chapter briefly in a free writing session, and that was actually really generative. So I spent the rest of the work session translating that quick summary into a bullet point outline of my chapter. I already had written a rough draft of the first half of that chapter, but partway through it takes a bit of a turn, and I wasn't sure how that transition would happen, so I hadn't started writing the second half of the chapter draft yet, but now I feel empowered to write that second half of the chapter. After we sign off around 9 a.m., I usually make breakfast, but because today I got up early and already ate, I went for a run instead. I only run 2 or 3 of the weekdays each week, and I fit it in whenever is convenient in my schedule that week. After a break from about 9 to 10 a.m. when I make and eat breakfast or go for a run or whatever, then I try to go back to work on my PhD. Today, because I was super productive and feeling good during my early morning session, I was able to reinvoke that energy after my run and actually get to work on the second half of my chapter. For me, this meant pulling interview quotes from my transcripts and inserting them in my Microsoft Word document as comments where they might fit in. This means that tomorrow, when I sit down to work, I already have everything sitting in my document so that I can just start writing the draft. Other mornings, I will just do some readings if I'm not feeling the creative energy or confidence required to write. Or I might hang out in my Zettelkasten and get re-inspired by the ideas I've got in there. Not every day is a writing day, even though I do kind of wish it was. I also take mini breaks to send emails or watch a YouTube video while I'm working, but all told, this morning routine results in about 4 hours of PhD work, including breaks. At 12 or 12:30, depending on the day, I make and eat lunch until 1 or 1:30, and then the afternoon is mine to do with what I please. Sometimes that is more PhD stuff, but more often it's YouTube video creation, Medium article writing, running errands, seeing friends, etc. For anyone doing a PhD at home, isolated from any academic community, I hope this video helps you imagine what a workday might look like for you. For me, my productivity fluctuates day to day, and I've learned to accept that I'm not going to get through my entire wish list, to-do list every single day. I've also learned that if I intentionally allow my brain time off from thinking about my PhD, then I am much more productive when I do work. I work at 7 a.m. because that is when I am most productive. I never work evenings because that is when I most easily get frustrated with myself and my work. So if I have any advice to offer you in this video, it would be to show yourself compassion as you determine a work schedule that works for you. Maybe as you figure things out, you won't get any PhD work done. but if that means you find a routine that makes you work quicker, more consistently, and with more enjoyment of your task, then maybe a period of zero productivity is okay. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll be back with more PhD videos very soon.